I never thought a casual invitation from my son would upend my entire life. It was just supposed to be a weekend visit. His college buddy crashing at our suburban home in upstate New York while they worked on a group project. But the moment Marcellus stepped through the door, with his easy smile and confident stride, something inside me stirred, a feeling I'd long suppressed, threatening to unravel the perfect family facade I'd built over 2 decades. My name is David Harlan, a 45-year-old architect with a thriving firm in Albany. Married to Sarah for 22 years, we had the American dream. A spacious colonial house, 2 cars in the garage, and our son, Jake, now a sophomore at Cornell studying engineering. Sarah was the pillar of our community, volunteering at the local church, organizing neighborhood barbecues, and always the first to bake cookies for school events. Our life was predictable, comfortable, laced with the quiet routines that come with middle age. But beneath it all, I'd harbored doubts about my sexuality since college, fleeting attractions I dismissed as phases, buried under vows and responsibilities. Jake had mentioned Marcellus a few times, his roommate, a history major from California, openly gay and unapologetic about it. "He's cool, Dad," Jake said over dinner one night. "Super smart. And he's got this way of making everything seem less stressful." I nodded, not thinking much of it. When Marcellus arrived that Friday evening, backpack slung over one shoulder, he shook my hand firmly. "Mr. Harlan, thanks for having me. Jake's told me a lot about you." His eyes lingered a second too long, or maybe I imagined it. Sarah welcomed him with her usual warmth, showing him to the guest room while Jake dragged him off to set up their laptops in the den. That first night, we all sat around the dinner table, conversation flowing easily. Marcellus talked about his family's vineyard in Napa, his passion for civil rights history, and how he'd come out to his parents at 16. "It wasn't easy," he admitted. "But hiding who I am would have been worse." Sarah listened intently, asking thoughtful questions, while Jake chimed in with campus stories. I found myself drawn to Marcellus's candor. His laugh was infectious, his insights sharp. As I cleared the plates, our hands brushed in the kitchen, and a jolt ran through me. I pulled away quickly, blaming it on static from the carpet. The next morning, Sarah headed out early for her yoga class, leaving me to make breakfast. Jake was still asleep, so it was just Marcellus and me in the kitchen. He wandered in, hair tousled, wearing a faded band tee and shorts. "Smells amazing," he said, pouring coffee. We chatted about architecture. Turns out he had a minor in art history. "Your designs must tell stories too," he mused. "Like how buildings reflect the people inside them." I felt seen in a way I hadn't in years. Sarah and I had grown distant. Our talks were about bills and schedules, not dreams. As the day wore on, Jake and Marcellus hunkered down in the den, but Marcellus kept finding reasons to step out, grabbing snacks, asking for my opinion on their project about urban development. Each interaction built a subtle tension. That afternoon, while Jake ran errands, Marcellus joined me in the backyard where I was tinkering with the grill. "Jake says you're the fix-it guy," he teased. We talked about life choices, how I'd chosen stability over adventure. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked, his tone gentle but probing. I hesitated. "Sometimes, but family comes first." He nodded, but his eyes held a question. By evening, the air felt charged. Sarah noticed nothing, chatting animatedly during dinner. Later, as we watched a movie, Marcellus sat next to me on the couch. Our knees touched accidentally or not. My heart raced. When everyone went to bed, I lay awake, replaying every moment. This was dangerous territory. I was married, a father. Yet, for the first time, I felt alive. The weekend blurred into stolen glances and meaningful conversations. On Sunday morning, Sarah took Jake to visit his grandparents, leaving Marcellus and me alone for a few hours. "Want to show me around town?" Marcellus suggested. We drove to a nearby park, walking trails lined with autumn leaves. "Tell me about your college days," he said. I opened up about my confusion back then, a crush on a roommate I'd never acted on. "Sounds familiar," Marcellus replied softly. "It's okay to question things, even now." We stopped by a bench overlooking a lake. The silence stretched. Then Marcellus turned to me. "David, I feel something here. Am I wrong?" My breath caught. "You're not," I whispered. Our hands met. A simple touch that ignited everything I denied. We talked for hours about fears, desires, the weight of expectations. No kisses, no embraces, just raw honesty. But it was enough to crack my world open. When Sarah and Jake returned, guilt washed over me. I avoided Marcellus's eyes during farewell hugs. As they drove off, Jake waved, oblivious. Sarah kissed my cheek. "Nice kid, huh?" I nodded, my mind reeling. That night, Marcellus texted, "Thank you for listening. Let's talk soon." I stared at the screen, torn between deleting it and replying. Weeks passed, but the connection lingered. Work kept me busy, but thoughts of Marcellus intruded. Sarah sensed my distraction. "Everything okay?" she'd ask. I'd brush it off. Then, one evening, Jake mentioned Marcellus was visiting again for a study break. My pulse quickened. Sarah agreed enthusiastically. "He's like family now." Marcellus arrived, and the spark reignited instantly. This time, with Jake out at a party one night, we found ourselves alone in the living room. "I've been thinking about you," Marcellus confessed. We shared stories of past heartbreaks. His from a toxic ex, mine from unfulfilled longings. The conversation turned intimate, emotional. "What if this is real?" he asked. I had no answer, only a growing ache. The conflict escalated. My marriage felt like a cage. Sarah and I argued more over trivial things masking deeper issues. I confided in no one, wrestling with guilt. Society's judgments loomed. A straight married man falling for a younger gay guy? It was taboo, ripe for scandal. As the visits became more frequent, the line between friendship and something more blurred irreparably. Marcellus started texting me directly, bypassing Jake. At first, it was innocent, sharing articles on history or architecture. But soon, the messages carried undertones of longing. "Miss our talks," he'd write. I'd respond late at night. When Sarah was asleep, my replies laced with the same sentiment. It felt like a lifeline in my monotonous routine. One weekend, Jake had a midterm crunch, so Marcellus came alone under the pretense of borrowing books. Sarah was away at a conference, leaving the house to us. We cooked dinner together, laughing over spilled sauce. "You're different when she's not here," Marcellus observed. "Freer." I admitted the truth. My marriage had lost its passion years ago. We were partners in life, but not in heart. Marcellus listened without judgment, his presence a balm. That night, we sat on the porch, stars overhead. "David, what do you want?" he asked. I hesitated, then poured out my fears. Of hurting Sarah, confusing Jake, facing societal backlash. In our conservative suburb, being gay wasn't openly condemned, but it wasn't celebrated either. Church friends whispered about those lifestyles. Marcellus shared his own struggles. Bullying in high school, family rejection before acceptance. "Authenticity is worth the pain," he said. Our hands intertwined, a gesture that spoke volumes. No further physicality, but the emotional intimacy was profound. I felt understood, desired. When Sarah returned the next day, I was a mess of nerves. She noticed. "You seem off. Did something happen?" I lied, claiming work stress. The deception gnawed at me. Jake began suspecting something. "You and Marcellus seem close," he remarked one day. "Like buddy close." I laughed it off, but his eyes narrowed. Tension built. At work, I daydreamed, productivity slipping. Colleagues asked if I was okay. Home felt stifling. Then came the turning point. Marcellus invited me to a lecture in Ithaca. "Just us," he said. I told Sarah it was a networking event. The drive was electric, conversations deep, flirtatious. At the event, surrounded by academics, I felt out of place yet exhilarated. Afterward, we grabbed coffee. "This feels right," Marcellus whispered. I agreed, but guilt surged. Back home, Sarah confronted me. "You're distant. Is there someone else?" My denial was weak. We argued about neglect, about growing apart. She cried. I consoled her, hating myself. That night I called Marcellus. I can't do this. It's wrong. He sounded hurt. Is it? Or are you scared? The internal war raged. Society's norms pressed. Marriage is sacred, infidelity unforgivable. But my feelings for Marcellus challenged everything. Was I gay, bi, or just lost? Therapy crossed my mind, but admitting it aloud terrified me. Jake's next visit home amplified the drama. Marcellus tagged along. During a family outing to a local fair, Jake pulled me aside. Dad, Marcellus said something weird. He thinks you're cool, but like, too cool. My heart sank. That evening, while Sarah prepared dinner, Marcellus and I stole a moment in the garage. We need to talk to them, he urged. Hiding is killing you. I refused, fearing the fallout. But fate intervened. Jake overheard us whispers about us and feelings. He burst in, face pale. What the hell? Dad, are you with Marcellus? The accusation hung heavy. I stammered, denying at first, then crumbling. It's complicated, son. Chaos ensued. Jake stormed out, calling me a liar. Sarah walked in mid-argument, piecing it together. Her face crumpled. How long? She demanded. Marcellus tried to explain, but she shouted him out. Get out of my house. He left, apologetic glances my way. The house erupted in shouts. Sarah accused me of betrayal, of destroying our family. After all these years? With a kid half your age. Jake echoed her, feeling betrayed by both friend and father. You're gay? And you cheat with my roommate? That's messed up, Dad. I defended myself weakly. It's not about age or cheating. It's about who I am. But the words rang hollow amid the pain I'd caused. That night, Sarah slept in the guest room. Jake barely spoke. I sat alone, regretting yet yearning. The next day, confrontations continued. Sarah demanded details. No physical affair, but emotional infidelity cut deeper. You shared your heart with him, she sobbed. Jake grappled with shock. I thought you were straight. And Marcellus, how could he? Community whispers started. A neighbor saw Marcellus leave upset. Rumors spread at church. Sarah's friends offered sympathy, painting me the villain. I faced judgment, homophobia masked as moral outrage. Think of the children, one said, ignoring Jake was grown. Marcellus texted support. I'm here when you're ready. But I pushed him away, drowning in shame. Therapy became inevitable. In sessions, I unpacked decades of denial, societal pressure to conform, fear of rejection. My therapist validated, self-discovery isn't linear. Yet healing was slow. Sarah suggested separation. I love you, but I can't trust you. Jake distanced himself, questioning our bond. Was our family a lie? Amid the wreckage, I reflected on choices. Had I stayed true earlier, pain might have been avoided. But timing is cruel. Marcellus and I met sporadically, platonic now, but the spark lingered. The separation hit like a storm, reshaping our lives in ways I never anticipated. Sarah moved to her sister's in Syracuse, taking half our belongings. The house echoed with emptiness, a constant reminder of my mistakes. Jake returned to college, communication sparse, curt texts, avoided calls. Need time, Dad, he messaged. I understood, but it stung. Work suffered. Clients noticed my distraction. My boss suggested leave. Sort yourself out, David. I did, diving into therapy twice weekly. Sessions peeled layers. Childhood expectations from strict parents, college suppression, marriage as a shield. You're not broken, my therapist said. You're human. Marcellus reached out cautiously. We met in neutral spots, cafes in Albany, parks away from prying eyes. Conversations were healing, not romantic. I didn't mean to cause this, he apologized. I reassured him. It was inevitable. You just lit the fuse. Our bond deepened platonically, built on mutual respect. Society's backlash intensified. At a community meeting, whispers turned to stares. A former friend cornered me. What about family values? You're setting a bad example. I defended, Values include honesty, but doubt crept in. Was my pursuit of self-selfish? Sarah filed for divorce, amicable but painful. We divided assets, discussed alimony. I want you to be happy, she said tearfully. But why him? I explained. Attraction transcended gender, but timing betrayed us. She nodded, hurt lingering. Jake's reaction evolved. He called one night angry. Marcellus was my friend first. You stole that. We talked hours about betrayal, confusion. Are you gay, Dad? I admitted uncertainty. Labels don't fit perfectly. But yes, I have feelings for men. He paused. That changes everything. Reconciliation attempts followed. Family therapy helped. Jake opened up. Fears of losing his dad. Societal stigma at college. Guys tease about gay dads. I empathized, sharing my struggles. Slowly, bridges mended. Marcellus faced his own turmoil. His parents, supportive of his sexuality, questioned the age gap and circumstances. It's complicated, he told them. Friends divided, some saw romance, others predation. He's twice your age, one said. Marcellus defended. Age is numbers. Connection is real. Our relationship hovered in limbo. We decided space, focus on healing. But fate pulled us back. At Jake's birthday dinner, neutral ground, Marcellus attended hesitantly. Tensions simmered. Sarah was civil, Jake awkward. But as evening progressed, stories flowed, easing the air. Post-dinner, Marcellus and I walked. Miss you, he admitted. I echoed. We agreed. Proceed slowly, honestly. No secrets. Community response varied. Church friends distanced. Others supported. A local LGBTQ group reached out, offering resources. I attended meetings, finding solidarity. Stories mirrored mine. Late bloomers, family upheavals. You're brave, one said. I felt less alone. Challenges persisted. At work, a client pulled out, citing personal issues. Discrimination, possibly. I fought back, advocating inclusivity. Jake's acceptance grew. He introduced me to campus LGBTQ events. Learn with me, Dad. We attended a panel on coming out later in life. Insights hit hard. Societal pressure delays self-acceptance, causing collateral damage. Sarah dated again, finding peace. I'm happy for you, she said over coffee. Co-parenting Jake strengthened. Marcellus and I explored dating cautiously. Dinners, hikes, emotional depth without rush. This feels right, he said, but doubts nagged. Was it rebound? Infidelity's shadow? A major conflict arose when Jake discovered our renewed contact. You're together now? He accused. After everything? We explained time apart therapy. He stormed off, but later returned. If it makes you happy, okay. But Marcellus, hurt him and I'll kill you. Laughter broke tension. Family redefined. Yet external pressures mounted. A local paper ran a story on midlife crises in suburbs. Anonymized but eerily similar. Rumors flew. Marcellus's college friends gossiped. Sugar daddy? One joked cruelly. He shut them down. It's love, not labels. We navigated judgments. At a pride event, we held hands publicly. Stares came, but support too. An older couple shared. We waited 30 years. Don't regret, but wish sooner. Reflection deepened. Choices have consequences, pain for gain. Was it worth it? Highs and lows alternated. A family holiday tested bonds. Sarah joined neutrally. Laughter returned, tentative. Marcellus proposed moving forward. Let's build something real. I agreed, cautious optimism. But a twist. Sarah revealed she'd known my struggles years ago. I saw signs, hoped it'd pass. Revelation stung, missed opportunities for honesty. Drama peaked at Jake's graduation. All attended. Emotions raw. Speeches about futures mirrored ours. Post-ceremony, toasts. Jake raised glass. To new beginnings. Tears flowed. In the aftermath of graduation, our lives settled into a new rhythm, fraught with ongoing conflicts but laced with hope. Marcellus and I officially dated, keeping it low-key at first. We rented an apartment in Albany, a neutral space away from the family home I'd sold in the divorce. Sarah got the proceeds for her fresh start. I downsized to rebuild. Jake visited often, his acceptance genuine but tested. "Seeing you two together is weird," he admitted during a weekend stay. We discussed boundaries, no PDA around him, respect for his feelings. "Fair," he said, but underlying resentment bubbled. "You broke Mom's heart." I owned it. "Yes, and I'm sorry, but staying would have broken mine." Societal clashes persisted. At a work function, a colleague made a snide remark. "Heard about your lifestyle change. Bold move." I countered, "It's called living authentically." Whispers followed, but allies emerged. My firm implemented diversity training, partly inspired by my story. Marcellus's world intersected chaotically. His ex resurfaced, jealous. "You're with an old guy? Pathetic." Marcellus blocked him, but it shook us. "Am I too young?" he worried. I reassured, "Age gaps work if communication does." We attended couples counseling, addressing power dynamics, generational differences. Family gatherings evolved. Thanksgiving at Sarah's new place included Marcellus tentatively. Conversations were polite, but undercurrents ran deep. Sarah pulled me aside. "He's good for you, but I miss us." Honesty healed. "Me too, but this is my path." Jake brought a girlfriend home, shifting dynamics. "Double standards?" he joked. We laughed, but it highlighted progress. A major dispute erupted when Marcellus's parents visited. Conservative despite acceptance, they questioned, "David's divorced, older. Is this stable?" Marcellus defended fiercely. "Stability is emotional, not societal." Dinner was tense, but they softened, seeing our bond. Community involvement grew. I volunteered at LGBTQ centers, mentoring others in similar situations. Stories poured in, marriages dissolved, families fractured, but rebirth found. "Your courage inspires," a mentee said. It validated my choices. Yet backlash hit hard. An online forum exposed our story anonymously, likely a disgruntled acquaintance. Comments ranged from supportive to vicious. "Homewrecker," "pervert." Marcellus faced harassment at school. We reported, but damage done. This fueled debates. At a panel I spoke on, questions flew. "Is coming out midlife selfish?" I argued. "Denial hurts more long-term." Audience divided, some empathized, others condemned. Personal growth accelerated. I explored identity, joined book clubs on queer history, attended films. Marcellus introduced me to modern culture, bridging gaps. Romance blossomed amid turmoil. Weekend getaways to the Adirondacks, hiking, talking dreams. "Future together?" he asked. I envisioned it. Commitment, perhaps marriage. But Jake's wedding plans tested us. Engaged to his girlfriend, he invited all. "Be there, Dad." And Marcellus. The event was emotional, vows echoing my past. Sarah and I shared a dance, closure in motion. Post-wedding, a family crisis. Sarah's health scare. We rallied Jake, Marcellus, me. Unity forged in adversity. Marcellus proposed subtly, "Move in fully?" I accepted, symbolizing commitment. Reflections deepened. Choices define us, mine controversial but authentic. Tensions with extended family lingered. My parents, elderly, struggled. "We don't understand." Patient talks bridged some gaps. Marcellus graduated, job in NYC. "Relocate," he suggested. I considered, weighing roots versus love. Decision time loomed, high stakes. Let me add more depth. The online exposure led to a full-blown scandal in our small community. Church leaders reached out, urging repentance. "Infidelity is sin," they preached. I responded, "So is living a lie." Friends chose sides, some cut ties, others stood firm. Marcellus's career suffered briefly. Internships questioned his stability. He pushed back. "Personal life doesn't define professional." Resilience shone. We hosted a support group at home, turning pain to purpose. Stories shared. A teacher outed. A parent disowned. Solidarity built. Intimacy grew emotionally. Shared vulnerabilities strengthened us. A twist. Jake confided his own doubts. Maybe I'm bi? Exploration encouraged. Be true. Sarah remarried, happiness found. No hard feelings, she said at a gathering. As years passed, wait, but story is contemporary. High point. Marcellus and I attended Pride as a couple, flags waving. Empowerment. Low. A family reunion where cousins shunned us. Not natural. Marcellus quipped, love is. Debates raged internally. Was infidelity the catalyst or crime? With the move to NYC on the horizon, our story reached its crescendo of resolution and lingering questions. Marcellus's new job in a museum curated queer history exhibits. A perfect fit. I transferred my architecture work remotely, embracing change. Packing the apartment symbolized shedding old skins. Jake's family expanded. A baby on the way. Uncle Marcellus? He joked. We beamed, roles evolving. Sarah's wedding was bittersweet. I walked her down the aisle as friend, closure complete. Community acceptance varied. Some embraced, others distanced. A local award for advocacy recognized my journey, controversial but affirming. Marcellus and I married quietly, vows heartfelt. Through storms, we choose us. Reflections, path fraught with pain, infidelity's scar permanent, but growth undeniable. Society debates, age gaps, late coming outs, emotional affairs. Our story fuels them. Was it all worth it? Lives upended, but truths unveiled. In the end, is self-discovery through betrayal ever truly right? Or does the end justify the means? The move to NYC marked a fresh chapter, but echoes of the past reverberated. Marcellus's exhibit opened to acclaim, featuring stories like ours. Your life inspired this, he said. Attendees shared parallels, sparking discussions. Jake's child arrived, a girl, naming her after Sarah. We visited, bonds strengthening. Thanks for being honest, Dad, Jake said. Taught me authenticity. Sarah's new life thrived. Occasional coffees kept friendship alive. Challenges persisted. NYC's pace tested us. Arguments over trivialities masked deeper fears. Relapse into denial? Counseling continued. A book deal came. My memoir on midlife awakening. Controversial excerpts leaked, reigniting debates. Interviews probed. Regret the affair? I answered, regret the hurt, not the truth. Marcellus co-authored sections. Our voices united. Family holidays blended seamlessly now. Laughter over turkey, stories shared without shame. Yet, societal rifts remained. A conservative relative cut contact. Against values. We mourned but moved on. Personal milestones. My 50th birthday celebrated with all. Toasts to resilience. Marcellus's promotion. My firm project on inclusive designs. As time healed, gratitude grew. For pain birthing purpose. The story closes not with perfection, but progress. But one question lingers, sparking endless debate. Is infidelity justifiable if it leads to profound self-discovery and happiness for all involved in the long run? True or false?